Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. In today's video is I'm going to take you through some of the harvest. We'll start with grabbing in some tomatoes. These are the San Marzanos. I have that one over there. I have one here. I have a couple more I already grabbed. So let's move on. Next up is the jalapenos. These jalapenos are still green, or most of them are, but I'm going to start clipping these anyways. That way the plant will produce more jalapenos and I'll get a larger overall harvest. Now what I'm planning to do with these is I will slice them up into rounds and then I will pickle them so that we get pickled jalapenos. Now I'm getting in some really nice sized peppers on it here. And you can see these are pretty nice sized ones. I have one more jalapeno plant to get peppers from, and it's this one here. Now this is supposed to be the sweet pepper bed, but I must have mislabeled this one. But it's got jalapenos on it, so you might as well go ahead and grab these. You know, that kind of thing happens sometimes. You just mislabel something and you'll figure it out once it starts to ripen, you know. This is what I ended up with for my first jalapeno harvest of the year. We got some nice green ones. Obviously it would have been nice to let these go a little longer, but you know, I'm going to go ahead and gather these up. This one's got some nice striations on it. I do a couple red ones here. Those are from the plant I overwintered. But this will be enough to do one jar, I think. And we should be good to go on that. I want to show you the raspberries because they are now really starting to ripen up. So let's take a closer look. Here you can see all these clusters of raspberries here. This particular variety right in the spot here, this is Joan J. And when they turn this like purplish kind of color, man, they are really good at that point. But you can see these are really loading up. Some more in this area. More raspberries down there ripening. Now these ones are a different variety here. I can't be absolutely certain what these are, but I suspect this is Latham. And you can see just they come right off, and they're starting to darken. Now we have so many of these raspberries here that I probably won't get through like just eating them fresh. Anything we don't eat fresh today, I will freeze tomorrow. The frozen ones I will turn into raspberry lemonade. Although I might try my hand at making like a raspberry jam. You know, that might be really good. Anyways, I'm gonna keep picking these, and then after I get done, I'll show you what we got. I picked 1.5 pounds of raspberries this day, and I've collected about 10 pounds overall so far. The music garlic is also ready for harvest. Let's pull up a couple of these. Now, I've never grown this particular variety before. The ones I've had for the last 2 years are the Chestnut Red. I'll pull some of these up and we'll see what we got. This is what we ended up with. I kind of sorted them out, larges, you know, the medium, like culinary type size, and then, you know, we always end up with like some small ones. Now what I do is I eat the smallest ones first because they won't keep as well. This one here is like the largest. That one's really nice. Now this garlic we'll use in our everyday cooking, but the 6 to 8 largest bulbs, you know, like these ones, I'll save for replanting in the fall. You know, I still got my chestnut red out there, which will be coming up next week or the week after. I'll do the same with those, you know, save the 6 to 8 largest ones for replanting in the fall. If you ever want to know what happens to garlic if you just leave it in the ground and don't do anything with it, this is soft neck garlic that I left in my strawberry bed to deter pests. It was in there for 3 years, and this is kind of what happens to it. Also need to pick some of the green beans here. The great thing about green beans is that as you keep picking them, they keep producing. So this will be my second harvest for the first sowing of green beans. The second sowing over here. They're starting to produce the flowers, so they'll be ready in a couple of weeks to start really producing. And by that time, these peas should be done producing pods, and I'll put more green beans in those pods. This is what I ended up with today. Also grabbed a couple of the newly formed peas in here, just to kind of fill this out a little bit. And I ended up with one of the paprikas is ripe, so I grabbed that and I'll dehydrate that for making into paprika powder. Now, one harvest I'm not going to show in this video is the harvesting of the onions. I cover that in my growing onions from seed part 5. For tomatoes, I ended up with 10 same horizontals so far. Now the determinants I have, they're not ready, and they probably won't be ready for another month. But that'll wrap up today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.